The age-old question. Let's actually talk about like the science behind losing belly fat, all right? So when it comes to belly fat specifically, obviously that's one area you can't really spot reduce where you're gonna lose fat, but if you lose fat everywhere, you'll definitely lose fat in your belly area. So we have a lot of visceral fat in our stomach, right? In our stomach area, around our organs. If you're eating a lot of processed shit, you're not moving around a lot, you're gonna have a lot of visceral fat. That's why when you start to move more, when you start to eat healthier, when you start to cut out all the inflammatory foods, like processed sugars, fried foods, that you start to lose a lot of belly fat, right? Because you're losing a lot of visceral fat, you're flushing out water weight. Visceral fat is sometimes the first area that you're gonna lose, right? But the key to losing belly fat and keeping it off is really gonna stem in nutrition. You can do all the cardio you want, all right? But if you eat like shit, you are gonna maintain or gain belly fat every single time, all right? If you're skinny fat, why are you skinny fat? Because you're not necessarily eating too many calories, but you're eating like shit, right? So majority of that's getting stored. You're not building muscle. You're not eating high protein. You're not eating quality foods. That's why viewing everything, changing your perspective, looking at everything as a lifestyle is literally going to help you with this belly fat, all right? Because everyone is just like, well, how do I target this? How about if I do crunches, I feel it in my stomach? Well, you've been doing crunches for years. You've been feeling it in your stomach, and your stomach's still big as hell. What the fuck do you think? It's just dumb shit like that. You want to do the same thing, but you want a different answer. You can't change science. You're not God, all right? You're not changing science. Here's how science works. You eat like shit, your body looks like shit. When I was eating like shit, my stomach was big as hell. Why? Because my actions supported a big ass stomach. I was eating like shit. I was eating McDonald's every fucking day. I'm eating hot cakes at McDonald's, 2 sausage egg muffins, 2 hash browns, and a frappuccino. And I expect not to have a big ass stomach. That doesn't make any sense. All right, you have to realize that every inch of fat that you earn, you deserve that shit. It's not random. You don't just randomly get handed fat. You're like, that's not fair. That's not how it works. Everyone who has excess fat earned it. Everyone who's lean earned it. You don't just literally magically wake up lean because you want to be lean. You don't put 3 weeks of consistency in and you're the leanest person on earth. That's not how it works. All right, it's not gonna work like that. You don't go from 30% body fat to 10% body fat after 4 weeks of eating the right way. That's not what's gonna happen. It's gonna take time. All right, just like you're not gaining a 45-inch waist, a 40-inch waist, a 50-inch waist from one bad day of eating, from 4 bad weeks of eating. It's literally like 5+ years of eating like shit, drinking liquor, and being sedentary. That's how it really happens. And for a majority of people, it happens slower than that. It's generally a 10-year progression. All right, that's how you gain belly fat. So if you want to lose belly fat, all those things that you're doing, obviously you have to reverse engineer it and go the other direction. Very simple. If you've been eating in a calorie surplus unknowingly for 10 years, just because you didn't know doesn't mean it didn't fucking happen. All right. Which means if you want to lose the fat, now you got to do the opposite. I have a lot of friends from high school, and a lot of them over the past 10 years, I was kind of like watching their stories and stuff and just seeing them gradually each year gaining about, anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds. And after 10 years, that's anywhere from 50 to 100 pounds. That's how you gain weight. Yet when you finally pay attention to your own health, and you start to put the work in and eat what you're supposed to eat. It's not even like eating healthy isn't something special. It's what you're fucking supposed to be doing, bro. It's the bare minimum to get results. All right. If you're eating healthy and you're working out and you want like results, you're just looking at it wrong. You're supposed to be doing that shit anyways. Eating unhealthy means unhealthy, bad for health. Eating healthy means healthy, good for health. It's really not that deep. All right. But I've seen like a lot of my high school friends will be like, hey, how do I lose fat fast? And I'm just like, they don't realize that I was watching them gain 5 pounds per year. They think they gained 100 pounds in 1 year or some shit like that when it was just 5 pounds per year. Which means in order to lose that 100 pounds, that 50 pounds, it's going to take, realistically, because you have to change your mindset, it's going to take a little bit more than a year. Let's just keep it a buck. All right. That's a great thing, though, because if it took you 10 years to gain it and you could lose it in a year, that's 1/10 of the time. Right. So that doesn't require patience, in my opinion. That does not require patience. If you're getting a result 1/10 of the time it took you, to get the opposite result, in what aspect of life is that patience? That is not patience, right? But we lack patience to the point where we want to lose 100 pounds in 1 week. Yesterday on a TikTok live, someone asked me, hey man, how do you lose 20 pounds in 1 week? And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? You didn't gain it in 1 week. And they're like, yeah, I know, but how do you lose in 1 week? And I was like, you're not losing 20 pounds of fat in 1 week. Try 4 months. And they're like, oh, well, that's too long. The months are going to pass anyways. And after those 4 months, they're probably going to gain another 2 pounds because their mindset is fucked, right? It just is what it is. Like, expecting to lose what took you so long to gain literally makes no sense. This is not the lottery, all right? This is not stocks, I mean. You're not winning, $2 million and then, you know, keeping your money in and the stock just skyrockets down. That's not how fat loss works. When you say, I want to lose fat, it doesn't mean it's going to come off. You have to put in the action, and fat loss happens at a certain rate. You're going to lose 1 to 2% of fat per week. You're not losing 300% fat or 3% body fat every 3 days or 10% body fat in a week. You're losing 1 to 2% if you're lucky, all right? But you have to be consistent, period. Like losing the belly fat is going to require consistency. And for some reason, people just hate that answer. They hate the consistency because they don't trust themselves to be consistent. If you don't trust yourself to be consistent, you're literally going to fail, period. All right, hate to break it to you, but that's just the truth.